what did I do with all those useless SMD parts? Well, I went through the big pile and picked out the ones I wanted to keep, and the ones I didn't want to keep I basically just pulled out of the reels, and you can do that really easily. You just kind of hold the tape like this and you get the clear part, and you just keep pulling the clear part and it will run the tape through your hand and just they'll all fall out. You can get through them pretty quickly. I also added a bunch of other parts I had just in my junk bin drawer. A lot of these smaller ICs, which were these are buck converters, and they're just this old part that I wasn't going to use. And I think I found some diodes and stuff, just spare parts I wasn't going to use, or I had way too many of. Mix them all together, and you end up with this kind of interesting soup of parts. We'll focus here. So, and I tried to keep it very clean. There's very tiny parts in here too. They're, I think these are smaller than 0402. So I don't remember what size that is, but yeah, teeny tiny. So I got a whole bunch of this. Now the original batch I made didn't have any of the ICs. It was strictly just passives from the lot. So what I'm going to show you doesn't have any ICs in it. Well, I took all that and got a mold. This particular one is a 4-inch coaster mold. Look for ones that are designed for epoxy use, because I used some clear casting epoxy. This is Easy Cast. This is the cheapest stuff you can get. I got it because, well, I'm not really into artsy stuff, and I figured, what the hell, I'll give it a shot, and this is the cheapest one to do it. You basically mix the two parts, just like regular epoxy, and you just do it in some disposable cups, and then you fill the mold. And I made a rather defective coaster. As you can see, there's a bunch of imperfections along the top. That's just because I was still adding parts to it after I'd filled it, so some of the epoxy didn't bubble over the top. I've never done this before, so, I'm sure I used the wrong technique in every possible way. But it did turn out actually kind of like how I expected. You got this cool... I should point out that I put a lot in this one. I intentionally put a whole bunch in because I just wanted to see what it would look like with a whole bunch of them in there. So the bottom, you can see, is just packed with parts. They do tend to sink in this stuff. Now, I've read that better epoxies the better epoxies are more viscous, so you can actually put some in, fill it up a little bit more, put some more in, and you'll get layers of it. But I knew these parts were fairly heavy since they're partially metal, so I figured it wouldn't turn out exactly how I planned, but it's okay. I like it. It gives you a little bit of depth. I also picked up a pyramid mold to make a little like paperweight desk ornament thing. I haven't tried this one yet. I'll do that next. I want to get some more ICs, maybe some larger ones like like 14 pin. I think I actually have one in here. Like, literally just one. It came in one of the boxes. It just fell out when I was going through the parts. But here we go. One larger part. So I ordered some. I just basically looked for like SOIC on eBay and just found like the cheapest part, whatever it is. I think they were audio amplifiers. I don't even remember. But I think I bought a reel of like, not a reel, but a strip of like 30 of them for like $3 or something, and I bought a different one as well. So I figured that kind of add to the mix. And I think whenever I get parts, I'll just, spare parts, I'll just fill in this kind of porridge to make more of these. But I think it actually turned out kind of neat. There is a lip to this. There's like an edge. Now, that's probably just how I filled it. I'm, like I said, I'm new to this whole epoxy thing. This is literally the first one I've ever made. So, I think it turned out kind of cool. And you can put your lovely beverage on it. And it seems to work out well. I actually have these other things that I wanted to make a video on I've had them for a couple years now. These are big. Well, this one isn't. This is just a. I think this is just, yeah, this is just a regular inductor. But these are three-phase chokes. You can see the three separate coils, and these are heavy duty. I mean, these things are big. That's like 3 or 4 millimeter solid wire. So yeah, pretty beefy. These come from a air conditioning unit controller, a huge one for a rooftop mounted. I think it's a, what was it? It was, the guy told me, it was years ago, I don't remember. It was either 2 5-ton or maybe it was even a 20-ton chiller. I can't remember, but it was huge, and I did take some pictures of it. It had tons of high current relays, nice conformally coated board, very, very high quality, really nice board. The guy gave me, I had 2 of them. The guy gave me both of them because they were chucking them out, and I just brought them home and plucked off all the kind of cool stuff. Now, these chokes actually came on little PCBs that were then mounted on the board. It took a lot of heat to get these things off, and then I just kind of hit them with the Dremel at the bottom. Maybe I could put like a clear coat of epoxy on the bottom to level this out. That could be a project for another day. Like I said, I did intend to make a video of these, although I figured a video titled Choke Art would probably attract the wrong crowd. So they kind of just sat on my speaker all this time. So yeah, these were kind of cool, and kind of fits with the theme. Another thing I was considering making a coaster out of were the gold top ICs. For example, these smaller dip ones, I think would fit perfectly in one of these, and it'd be deep enough for them to get covered up. You could actually probably even arrange them as a full grid and fill up the whole thing, and I think that would be really cool. The problem is, I really like the ceramic gold ICs, and I don't really want to waste a whole bunch of them. And maybe one day, we'll see. If I get a bunch of, maybe if I get like a huge lot of them with doubles. I like, one of the main reasons why I collect these things is to open them up and get to the chip and use my microscope, my crappy USB microscope, to get shots of the die. There's one. This is a Motorola 68040 from an old Mac. Huge die. But yeah, so maybe that'll be a project for another day. I would like to fill these with epoxy. These are my two of my favorite chips. You've probably seen these as either my icon or background on YouTube, but these ones are very cool. Hybrid modules on ceramic. So maybe one day, maybe these will make it into something, but I really don't want to completely ruin them. So we'll see. If I think of anything else to make artsy stuff out of, I'll try to make a video out of it. Oh, and one other little tip. You can also use mold release. I don't think you really need it with these ones because they're kind of flexible. So I was able to just, I put in a little bit of mold release. The only problem is it makes it kind of cloudy, and I think I got it all clean, but you can still see a little bit of a haze. So I think next time I'm going to try it without any of the mold release. I mean, it's on the bottom, it's not a big deal, but I was really impressed with how clear this epoxy came out. I mean, it doesn't look very clear when you're mixing it, but it did actually come out really clear. Like I said, the edges have a little bit of haze on them.